What's up, everybody? Chef Maj, the Marketing Cookbook, in here doing a little Q&A session. I want to thank everybody that took the time out to send in questions either via text, DM, or you answered the question in my story, so that we can have a little, conversation about what the Marketing Cookbook is and what we're looking to accomplish here. So sit back, Q&A session, part 1, Marketing Cookbook, Chef Maj. Yee! All right, so the first question that everybody wants to know, and we want to get into and get out the way first, who is Chef Maj and how did I get this name? As most of you know, my government name is Daryl Moore, and my nickname is Maj or Magic. I got the name Magic when I was 14 years old. I was heavy into music. I had wanted to be a DJ probably since I was maybe 10. And at 14, I got my first set of turntables for Christmas from my mom. And I didn't have a DJ name yet, but since my initials are DJM, I always told myself that my DJ name should start with an M. When my homeboy was DJing a party, I went with him. He asked me to jump on for a few minutes while he was doing some other stuff. I'm up there mixing and some kid walks by and was like, "Hey, that's like magic." And my partner heard it and he teased me about it, and we went to school the next day and the other homies, "Magic!" And so it just stuck. And so DJ Magic was my name. Magic, we dropped off the DJ. Obviously, we moved on to other things, but I've kept the nickname throughout a lot of different facets in life through entertainment marketing, and some other things that I've done in my life. And so Magic is how a lot of people know me. Maj is short for, magic. So Chef Maj, that's how we got to that. All right, so the second question that we have, and which is another very important question, obviously, if we're doing a marketing cookbook, is how did you get started with marketing? And I like to tell people I've been a marketer since birth. I've been able to identify products and put them with people in the right place for the right price and give it a good promotion my entire life. And the greatest example I can give of that is when I was 8 years old in the 3rd grade at Crocker Highlands Elementary, shout out Crocker Highlands. I was really heavy into action figures, whether it was Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes, Star Wars, Star Trek, action figures, didn't matter. I was heavy into action figures and my whole family knew it. I have a lot of aunts, uncles, and so for birthdays, Christmases, I would end up with extra of certain action figures. I may have 3 blue Ninja Turtles. I may have 2 Dr. Spock Star Trek toys or something, and I would always keep my extras in the box. And so I was at school one day hearing kids talk about, "Hey man, I got 3 out of the 4 Ninja Turtles and I'm missing the 4th one." Boom, light bulb went off. Well, I have 2 of those in the box at home. So I started bringing them to school and selling my extra action figures for kids' lunch money. It was a good little business venture for me because, hey, I have these extra toys just sitting in a box. They needed to complete the set. I sold it to them at a price they could afford, which was whatever lunch money they had on them at the time, and it was all profit for me. So that was my first little dive into, marketing and understanding my market, if you will. Now, take that story a step further. I did get in trouble for that, and my mother can confirm this story. They called my mom down to the principal's office and told her I was stealing people's lunch money, and parents were complaining that their kids weren't eating their lunch. When the principal told my mom exactly what was happening and that I was actually selling toys to kids for the lunch money, I wasn't taking it from them, she looked at the principal and said, "Hey, I thought that's good business." You know what I mean? And I felt the same way. So that was my first little, intro into understanding product, placement, promotion, and price, and introducing me into marketing. I took that a step further a few years later, about 3 years later when I was in the 6th grade. Trading cards were the biggest thing, going on at the time. Basketball, baseball, trading cards were huge. And so I would take my money, go buy up cards, and then I, keep on in my collection, and I would turn around and sell my cards. And so just so that you guys know that there is no cap and I'm not playing, I still have my card collection from about 20 years ago, and it still has the price sheet in here. Yes, you could have got a Charles Barkley, a Danny Ainge, or a Scott Pippen, even Dale Curry for all under $1 about 30 years ago. I would never sell those for that price now, but just know I've been a marketer and a self-promoting businessman my entire life. So to answer the question, how did I get started in marketing? I was born into it, honestly. Okay, question 3, I like this one. What is the most important tool businesses can use in digital marketing? I had this conversation all the time. And it's a very simple answer. The most important tool that you could have for your digital marketing is your www.com.org.net.us.co, your domain name, your website. That piece of real estate on the internet is the single most important piece of your digital marketing. I don't care what anybody else tells you. I don't care what anyone else says. You completely own the real estate that is your domain and the hosting that goes with it. There is no tool more important than your website. So the next and probably, a really, really good question is, who are some of your past clients? Definitely, we're talking about marketing and business. People want to know, who have you worked with? Luckily for me, I've been professionally marketing for over 15 years. Like we talked about, I've been a marketer my whole life. So luckily, I've gotten to work on some really, really cool projects, even work directly in the marketing department for some corporations. And so my first corporate marketing job was for a company that's called Verifone. They make a lot of the credit card payment terminals when you go to your grocery store or when you're at the gas station, those payment terminals that have the video on it when you go to swipe your card. I was in charge of bringing those to market back in 2006. So that was a very, very cool company to work for, a cool product to learn how to market. I learned a lot about trade shows. I learned a lot about attending conferences. I learned a lot about networking on the corporate level. So that was a great opportunity for me. From the agency side, I worked for a content marketing agency, and we did a lot of projects for a number of companies. And those companies included the likes of Facebook, Uber. I made a little list because sometimes, I forget. I've done a lot of things. Career Builder, Monster.com, Food Network. And then independently, myself, some of the business that I've, been able to garner through Camco Marketing has included things like the New York DJ Convention, DJ Small's Eyes platform on YouTube. He shouted us out for, all the guidance that we give him on his YouTube page. I've worked with a number of music festivals to help them create websites for their music festivals and create the marketing plans for their music festivals. I've worked with both independent and signed artists. Shout out Ayana, shout out 615, shout out Tebe, shout out Akaful. Worked on a number of entertainment marketing projects. Also wrote for Ozone Magazine, was a contributor to Vibe, was a contributor to Double XL for quite some time. And so I've worked in almost every facet of marketing, from entertainment to corporate to the agency side. And I probably am missing some people. Shout out Mikey Perez, the boxer, Golden Boy. We went to Puerto Rico doing some marketing. That was fun. I've been involved in some very, very cool, very fun projects my whole life. All right, cool. So here we go. Another question that I think is a good question. Do you believe in automation for social media? We're actually going to have a whole show about this topic. Social media automation, bots, how to spot bad bots, how to keep yourself out of spam, getting space ghosted, some of these other terms that we have come up with, basically to look like you're scamming the internet out of views and likes. I will say, yes, I do believe automation for social media is a powerful tool, but you really, really have to be careful about which parts you automate, who you automate it through, and what you're looking to accomplish. We've all seen it where automated bots will leave comments under posts and pictures that have nothing to do with the picture. And you as a brand, you just want to make sure that doesn't diminish your brand image. Some brands have been able to win off of that and use it and reverse that and kind of make it themselves into the kooky brand on social media that just says weird stuff. It's kind of a thin line. I think for new brands and new companies, you really want to be careful about what you automate and how you automate on social media, and you really, really, really want to take some time and understand which tools are going to work best for you. But yes, we're going to have a whole segment on social media automation, so I feel like that was a great question. Thank you for asking that one. Ooh, a cooking question, finally. Where did you learn to cook? I guess you guys would want to know that, right? We're going to get into a cookbook. You want to know where I got my cooking roots from? Well, it's easy. Like a lot of people, I learned how to cook from my mother. She cooked a lot. We really didn't eat out a whole lot coming up. My mother is a food snob by her own definition. She rarely eats at chain restaurants. She doesn't like places that have more than 2 or 3 locations. She would rather cook her own food. And so I kind of naturally took that on. And then when I was 14, she got a promotion at her job that required her to travel a lot. And so instead of just leaving me money for pizza and wings, she would just buy groceries and leave them in the house and tell me to figure it out. And she'd be gone, whole weeks at a time, and I'd have to figure it out. And so that's what it was. I started by trying to copycat what she would make and get my food to taste like hers. And then I would take that and just try new things until I started developing kind of a style for myself. And really, my favorite thing is barbecue, though. I love to put something out on the grill and the smoker, and cook stuff on the grill. So that's where I learned how to cook. Shout out to Mom. So all the delicious foods you see, shout out to Mom for that. Okay, so another cool question. Will you offer one-to-one services for custom brand plans? Absolutely. So the Marketing Cookbook itself will have some basic digital marketing recipes. And so when I say digital marketing recipes, I mean things like, hey, car dealerships, here are a list of things that you could do to improve your digital marketing. Realtors, churches, independent learning academies. And I'm going to have different segments in the Marketing Cookbook for each type of business vertical. But aside from that, me personally, Camco Marketing and Chef Maj, yes, I do and will continue to offer one-to-one services, custom marketing packages. You can always contact me. I've recently set up a Zoom account, so I'll be doing online consultations face-to-face via Zoom. So if you want to set one of those up, feel free to DM, email me, whatever the case may be. But absolutely, definitely doing customized services. The Marketing Cookbook is just sort of a guide to kind of help you get started, but there's definitely a need for customization when we talk about digital marketing. So great question, and thank you. Ooh, another question on here. Do you know how to set up retail pages for vendors? That is a very, very, very specific question. The answer is yes, but I'm gonna take that a little bit wider and kind of be a little arrogant and say if it has an HTML, CSS, or PHP code and exists on the internet, the answer is yes, I can do it, we can do it. Myself, I have been involved with coding since I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. I learned how to hand code. My friend Justin and I, what's up, Just? We learned how to hand code back in the day. And then I've just been self-taught on everything in terms of web technology and web proficiencies since then. So the long answer was all of what I just said. The short answer is yes, I can set up retail vendor pages and other types of pages to help you integrate for business purposes. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this question and answer session. I feel like this has been a great Q&A session. I want to do another one of these. So send in more questions. Leave them in the comments, DM me, email me, text me, call me, show up at my house if you got my address and we can talk about marketing. Doesn't really matter, but I really like these questions. And so as I gear up to continue putting out content for the Marketing Cookbook, I do want to hear more questions that people may have and get some more topics that people may be interested in so that I'm delivering you guys the messages and the marketing information that really applies to you and that you really find beneficial. So hope this has been fun for you. It's been fun for me. Marketing Cookbook. You see we're in the kitchen. I guess it's time to cook now. We done did all the business. So it's time to go ahead and get to cooking. I'm going to see y'all. Have a good one.